Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. We got a super saucy topic today, as this has picked up quite a bit of traction recently. Although this event itself happened back in August, I think. A documentary came out 6 days ago about the event itself, which I think led to more people talking about this. I'm not exactly going to go over the documentary because it's almost an hour long, and I'm not going to talk about a woman having sex with 100 men for about half an hour. It's not happening. What I'm actually going to delve into is Twitter. So as you can already guess, there's probably going to be some pretty terrible takes in this video. Now, if you don't know the story, we can start from the beginning. An OnlyFans creator who is at the age of 23 named Lily Phillips set up an event to have sex with 100 men in one day. And she says, I really don't care if they're 18 or 80. A spicy model says age, size, and looks don't matter as she looks to thank her fans saucy style. Lily Phillips from... I keep forgetting how to fucking pronounce this. Why do y'all have names like this in the UK? I think it's like Derbyshire?
Derbyshire.
Derbyshire. What a weird fucking name. Derbyshire. Yeah, it's not a sidewalk in the UK, it's a willy-pilly schmilly hilly. Sorry, I'm getting off track. She'll be descending on London on October 19th, where she plans to sleep with 100 fellas in one day. The 20-year-old says her reasons for undertaking the mammoth task are threefold, but first and foremost is to give back to her subscribers. I can't imagine any external reason that would coerce you to sleep with 100 men in 24 hours. I understand to each their own, but at a certain point, you have to think there's a line to cross, and it begs the question, I know you enjoy this, but at a certain point, don't you think this is not going to be enjoyable in the slightest? The article continues and says, the model says that the guys can be anything between 18 and 80 as she looks to book out the bonks to willing participants. For people to take part in the gratitude marathon, Lily says they must be over the age of 18 and consent to being filmed on camera, and for that video to be sold on her OnlyFans page. Other than that, I'll take anyone, even people as old as my granddad, she said. I don't even want to imagine what that fucking room would sound like. And as you can imagine, as they show in the documentary, the room is quite disgusting from the aftermath.
Brace yourself.
Oh, holy shit.
I guess it. You actually can. Is that real?
Yeah, he's not good with smells.
Now, when this documentary came out, people on Twitter started talking about it, and people somehow found a way to make this about how disgusting men are. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I am going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here because, I mean, both sides are actually quite disgusting. But then again, it is Twitter, so people will find ways to make things one-sided no matter the case. Anyways, the initial tweet that got my attention starts with, just watch the full documentary and, whatever that face is supposed to insinuate, men flying from different countries to sleep with her. A man being so shaken afterwards that he couldn't even hold up a water bottle to his face. Her full-on shedding tears after this clip. Male sexuality is so destructive. Now, I already didn't give this person the benefit of the doubt because this gives absolutely no accountability to Lily Phillips, the person, you know, who orchestrated the event in general. Now, as expected, after receiving tons of shit and comments and replies, their tone changes just a little bit in their next tweet, saying, well-adjusted men have liked this tweet and moved on, but there are a number of them offended in the replies. Introspective men can understand that when I say male sexuality is destructive, I'm talking about how it hurts women primarily, but also men too. So still no accountability as expected, but these poor men are they're hurting themselves, you know? They continue and say, you also can't tell me that these men left without a mark on their psyche. They'll be looking for the next high that could be even worse. Like, realistically, I think the only people that left mentally scarred were the people recording the documentary, since I'm sure walking into a room covered in condoms like it's a fucking movie scene and the smell of a fish market probably won't, you know, leave their nose for the next 2 months. Like, yeah, I think participating in this is degenerate behavior, but then again, you had men so desperate to have sex that they got on a plane solely for the intention to bonk this woman, you know, as the article says, and then just leave. Like, realistically, I think some of these guys will probably be disgusted that they even participated in this event, but I think the rest will be quite content that the fact that they got paid and they get to tell their mom that they're not a virgin anymore. Anyways, continuing this tweet, it says, demand comes before the supply. She saw what men wanted and created an opportunity. It would have never happened without without male demand for it. It's like you're just on the edge of actually giving her some sort of accountability. Yeah, she created the event, but these disgusting fucking men, like they made her do it. I understand that there's a demand for organ harvesting, but if I set up an event where I don't know, a mass organ harvest of elderly people, and people participate in it, I mean, yeah, you're calling out the degenerates who want to participate in that, but if I'm the one setting it up, nobody made me do that. And just because there's a market for it does not mean that the people participating are the biggest ones at fault. Yes, I understand that there is a pretty vast difference between cutting someone's kidneys out and getting your dick wet. I feel like my point's pretty clear here. I mean, it's not uncommon to see mental gymnastics on Twitter. People do this shit all the time, but I feel like the people who say shit like this online don't actually think about the fact that if you were to say this in front of a live crowd, you'd probably get a very, very different reaction. This feels like the equivalent of saying, this OnlyFans creator set up an event to have sex with 100 men, and the men actually had sex with her. Men are so disgusting, right? Who's with me? And now, then again, as much as I would expect people to be like, nobody, why would anybody think that way? But there are still people somehow reaching and calling Lily Phillips a victim. Now, to a very slight degree, I can agree that this is true. Only slightly, because she had actually made a comment in the documentary that her eyes were burning because she had specifically asked these 100 men not to splurge in her eyes, and they did it anyways. Don't get me wrong, I think these guys that participated in this are a bunch of fucking losers. Because, I mean, who's actually desperate enough to go fly out to have sex with an OnlyFans creator with 100 other men? Because I can't imagine how embarrassing it would be to be standing in the room waiting for your turn. Hey buddy, me next. Sorry pal, I was in line before you. Actually, Bob called dibs. Where's Bob? Oh, he's just spitting on his dick in the back. Hey listen buddy, now's not the time for performance anxiety. I got a Fortnite session at 8. Anyways, my point being is that, like, yes, they definitely pushed a boundary here, but when you're setting up an event to have a sexual experience with 100 people in a span of one day, what makes you think that these people who are so desperate that can be quite literally defined as degenerates would respect those boundaries that you set up, right? And to make matters worse, not only for the people defending Lily, but just for herself in general, there's a new event coming up next year where she will be sleeping with 1,000 men in 24 hours.
1,000 men in 24 hours.
Like, people have the ability to use critical thinking skills, but they just choose not to. For who do you think she makes that content? What makes you think she likes doing that? Some people just find these ways so they can live. 287 likes. That is, I'm assuming it's closer to like 300 now. I would hope not, but almost 300 people agreed with this stupid shit. I don't get it. I can't even afford to live. I need to have sex with 100 men in 24 hours. Unfortunately, the tweets didn't just stop at a double standard. They, of course, had to be hypocritical too, saying the mental gymnastics are insane. You do realize if she was black, these white women would have no sympathy for her, right? I think there's a reason this was improbable spam. I should probably stop reading those. And Ben Shapiro talked about this as well. I'm sure you can imagine how that went. That was a 50-minute video. 100 men in OnlyFans, something about tax fraud. He somehow brought Bernie Sanders into this fucking video. I don't even know how he managed to do that. It's Ben Shapiro, I guess. Anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about this. Also, I heard from the grapevine that if you consistently beg for subscribers, it actually happens. So, yeah, do that. I can see you looking at it. Just click it.